Hello aspirants and welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Now in economy there is a concept of technological unemployment. What does that mean? That means that whenever a job is lost, let's say you lose a job, God forbid that someone loses a job because there have been advancement in technology. Now that under circumstances it is known as technological unemployment because the unemployment is due to the change or advancement in technology. Now, every time it has been said that as and when technology advances, it reduces the number of jobs. However, a lot of times it has been proven wrong also. Now, why is that the case? Take, for example, the information and communication technology, ICT, and the ICT revolution that happened. In India, it started in the 1980s and then in 2000s, it peaked. So what happened? Technology did advance, but it created it, it did not create, the service sector was still there, but not in the phase as it is presently. Earlier service sectors were logistics, transportation, etc. Now the chunk of the service sector is the IT companies, the IT and IT enabling services. So it has completely transformed the face of the Indian economy, so much so that the service sector presently amounts to approximately 55% of India's entire GDP. And it also employs a huge number of the people. So it has created a lot many jobs, a lot of things. If you take for example, like you have the various aggregator apps, you have delivery apps. Now those delivery apps probably with respect to, I'm not talking about the 10 minutes delivery of the goods and goods, for example the ration and all. Of course they have created certain jobs, but they have also taken away a lot of jobs or the businesses of the small kirana stores. Yes. But if you talk about the food delivery with respect to Zomato or Swiggy, etc., when they deliver you the cooked food from various restaurants, so what they have done is they have increased the jobs of these delivery people, right? At the same time, now they might have taken some of the job, but what they have done is they have made us habitual of ordering food from outside. So what they have created, they have also created a demand which was earlier not present to that extent, and now they are satisfying the demand after creating the demand themselves. So there is a huge amount of jobs that have been created over here. Of course, some amount of jobs have been lost as well. So it's the net impact. So till now, with whatever technological advancement has happened, we have not per se seen a huge amount of net loss in the job. That is the idea. However, a lot of people argue or say that artificial intelligence is going to be the final thing that is going to definitely, with almost 100% certainty, take away a huge amount of jobs, and as a result of which jobs will be lost and unemployment will be there. Right? So the first heat of this particular concept or perspective we are now facing as we stand with respect to the artificial intelligence. So you might have heard the name of ChatGPT, OpenAI, all those things. So now these artificial intelligence is taking away the jobs. Now these are taking away the jobs. Specifically in this article we will discuss about the reduced jobs. See, earlier the argument was different, now it is different. We'll see the change. With the jobs are getting reduced, and specifically the software developer's job itself is going out because the AI itself is coding now on its own. So let us now jump into this particular article. So what is the news all about over here? See, initially it was argued that artificial intelligence would augment the worker's efficiency. For example, if I'm working, if I use artificial intelligence, it is going to augment my working efficiency. It is going to increase my productivity, increase my efficiency. That is what was argued. But what is happening now? What is happening now is it is not helping me improve my efficiency. Rather, this artificial intelligence is completely replacing me. See, today I am here teaching you this. Tomorrow, probably a robot or just an artificial intelligence software with a voice of a human or human-like is going to probably teach you. Right? We can't say what the future holds for any domain of work at all. So that is also quite possible, right? But for now, it is the software developers that we will be dwelling into in depth. So earlier it was argued that it will augment, but what has happened here is it has now started replacing. And one case in point, as you can see over here, the Salesforce logo, right? So what has happened is the latest company to join this trend is Salesforce. What it is saying is, it is saying that the use of artificial intelligence is helping us to ensure that we don't have to hire high amount of software engineers or customer service executives. So we have lowered our number of hiring for software developers and for customer service executives because of the use of artificial intelligence. Just for example, if you want to connect, if you log on to a website, it's a chat bot that is dealing with you. Swiggy, the food issue is there, so you connect with them. So there's an auto-generated response that share your case in detail, share the photographs, this, that, and maybe at a very later stage, if the things are still not automatically resolved, maybe then an agent will interfere or intervene rather. Right. So what are we talking about? Instead of having hundreds, customer service executive, you might just need 10 now. So 90 jobs are lost is what is being said over here. Now, in software, if we talk about specifically software, what kinds of jobs are getting lost? It is the entry-level jobs that are getting lost over here. Why? Because it's the entry-level, monotonous, mechanical, repetitive, loop-oriented kind of coding, which does not require much of creativity, is getting lost. So the new entrants, the newly graduated software engineers who want to take step forward into the software industry may not get the opportunity. Those who have just entered or at entry level are starting to lose their jobs because the AI tools are now capable of handling the routine coding tasks that are there. So routine coding tasks is being handled by the AI, as a result of which, instead of augmenting, it is basically replacing the entry-level job software engineers. Now, one important thing here is a lot of people also go abroad to study. A lot of people get employed outside. Before that, a lot of people go abroad for study in the software industry so that they can earn. Now, for them also, it is a dilemma whether they should spend that much amount for studying outside or not, because they might spend and later on, if someone starts now, they might be finishing their masters, or if it's a graduation 4-year course, after 4 years, 2 years, or a combination 6 years later, by that time, this particular domain itself for humans may not exist to the extent that it exists now. So they also have a dilemma to solve over here. Moving ahead, now how is AI reducing the job and to what extent? So if we take the big multinational corporations, so there are direct statements of their CEOs, the top level management. For example, if Microsoft, if you talk about Satya Nadella, he says that artificial intelligence is writing 20 to 30% of the company's code. And there's another fellow, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, he says that over at least 50% of software development within the next year would be done by artificial intelligence. So this is what we'll be doing in the next 1 year. They will go up to the degree of 50%. If you talk about Google CEO says that over 30% of new codes are being written by artificial intelligence. Now, previously it was 25%, it has increased. So the trend is also on the rise over here. And in the Google company, there is also a lot of acceptance of the AI written code. So it will only go on increasing. Right. Now, this particular artificial intelligence, as we understood, is hitting the entry level jobs first. They are simple, repetitive kind of coding, routine kind of coding, which can be handled over there. It is not that you are trying to, innovate or let's say imagine something new. Creativity is required, nothing like that. And in future, probably that thinking, that imagination would also be done by AI once they are trained, retrained of millions and billions and trillions of times on particular thing, right? So presently AI tools are capable of handling routine tasks. That is why entry level jobs are being taken away, is what the case over here is. Now, this is possible due to the rise of the AI tools like Chat GPT. All these open AI, open source codes are there available for public. Now you have premium version which has amazing capacity. That is why they are no longer now, and as time proceeds, they are going to become more powerful and more powerful. So what will happen is no longer they will be used only for minor tasks, but they will be writing complex codes as well. While when it comes to the senior engineers for now to some extent who are specialized developers are still in demand, but we do not know for how long they will be in demand because the AI is becoming more and more powerful as we speak, right? So what should be the way forward for a person over here? So this might be the new norm. Things will be AI powered, right? So what we need to do is probably upskill faster. So there would be still someone required to give the prompts to do some work, so you have to do upskilling. The jobs will still be lost, but those who can upskill can save their own jobs. That is one thing. Second is focusing on creativity, how you can be more creative. Even this work in future can be done, even to some extent can be done by AI right now also, but more and more of that capacity is going to be further built in the future as well. So but still, as we stand, focus on creativity, systems thinking, and working with AI and not competing with it. So do not try to compete with it, rather work with AI. If I have to tell the same for the teachers, instead of competing with AI, what I can do is utilize that AI in my teaching. So that can be the way forward. Thank you.